Hello, everybody. This is Terence Moore for Terence's Take, the week of Monday, May 27th, 2019. You can see me on occasion on MSNBC doing Joy Reid, the AM Joy show on Saturdays. NFL Films Top 10 List. I'm there doing things from time to time. And every Sunday on Channel 2 here in Atlanta, WSB Sports Zone. I also write a column for Forbes.com and also for CNN.com. But I'll tell you what, folks, let's get this out of the way. The NBA Finals begin on Thursday, and the Golden State Warriors are totally unlikable. And I'm being kind. I can use some other adjectives I might along the way, but who can stand the Golden State Warriors? All right, but having said that, they're going to three-peat. They're going to three-peat. They're going to beat the Toronto Raptors in 4 games, a sweep, maybe 5. They're going to win their 4th World Championship, the Golden State Warriors, in 5 years. And Shaquille O'Neal's got it about right. You know Shaq. Shaq is on that TNT comedy show disguised as a basketball show, okay? And he's over there with Ernie Johnson and Kenny Smith and Charles Barkley. Well, anyway, this is what Shaq has to say about this upcoming NBA Finals.
Who's going to win the Finals? I got to go with Golden State. Experience. They're playing very well now. They play better when people doubt them. They play better when, people disrespect them. They play better when, for example, Klay not making the All-NBA team. He's going to be ready to play. Draymond's going to be ready to play. My favorite player, Steph Curry's going to be ready to play. However, that boy Kawhi Leonard is the ultimate athlete. And kudos to Kawhi Leonard because I'm watching him. He don't complain on calls. He don't make faces. The ultimate athlete. I'm really happy for Toronto Raptors, and I just want a great series. But to answer your question, Ernie, because I'm a professional, I got to go with Golden State.
Yeah, it's going to be Golden State again. And in case you're wondering, Kenny Smith also picked Golden State. Charles Barkley's always wanted to be contrary. He picked Toronto. Okay. Ernie was neutral, but nobody's neutral on whether they love or hate the Golden State Warriors. Most people hate them for good reason. I mean, they're just... and it starts with Steph Curry. Okay, Stephen Curry, he was supposed to be the guy next door and all that sort of thing. But, people have kind of caught on to his act. Okay? I mean, first of all, you got that little shimmy thing showing up opponents, after he hits a three-pointer that he likes. I mean, it's one thing for the old days when you had Dikembe Mutombo do his little finger wag and whatever. That was cute. It wasn't really not that much offensive about that. But what Steph does, I mean, it's almost like giving somebody the middle finger. All right? But it goes deeper than that with Steph Curry. Here's a guy that actually threw a mouthpiece at a referee. Doesn't get a lot of play, but he did that. Another time he threw out his mouthpiece in anger and hit a fan, throwing a little temper tantrum. Then the other thing, they got some play but didn't get anywhere near as much play as it should have gotten, was when Steph led his teammates in taunting a referee. You remember that? Yeah, I mean, that took place earlier this year in Minnesota. When the referee made a call, obviously the Golden State Warriors didn't like Golden State Warriors, a bunch of whiners. And Curry hits an impossible 3-point shot from the corner to put the game in overtime. And afterwards, he just started pointing at the official, laughing at the official, with his teammates joining. Very juvenile stuff, all right? But the Golden State announcers at the time, they just giggled at it all. This is what it sounded like with the Golden State Warriors radio announcers.
Curry for 3. He made it! They didn't foul! And they'll go to double overtime!
Oh, Curry is really...
There's 5 tenths left.
He is pointing to Murat Hogan. What a clutch shot.
They got a very poor whistle on the Durant 3.
He's putting the official there.
He's pointing to Barack Hogan.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is, and yes, he was out of control again. He's out of control, Steph Curry, and everybody knows it. Okay, Golden State Warriors announcers, they gotta say that because hey, they're Golden State Warriors announcers. But in that same game, all right, went in overtime, and Minnesota won the game in overtime, and their announcers had it about right. They didn't think that was all that cute. I mean, this is what they had to say about Steph Curry and the rest of those Golden State Warriors just mocking the official.
And Andre Iguodala is just laughing. Steph Curry is leaving the floor. He's grabbing him. That's absolutely the right call. What are these guys talking about? The Golden State Warriors, man, they complain. I mean, unbelievable how much they complain.
And how many calls?
That's a foul on Kevin Durant.
How many
There's
calls
no
do
question.
get away with over the course
It's
of?
unbelievable. I mean, like, that's absolutely a foul.
It's freedom of movement. It's an emphasis in the league, and Towns with the Timberwolves in the bonus to the line.
I'll tell you what, the Golden State Warriors, they just gripe and whine and moan about everything. Everybody's against them. And they're saying this with the most impressive starting five since, well, the Showtime Lakers. Maybe since the Celtics of Bill Russell back in the 1960s. That's it. They've got it going on, these Golden State Warriors, talent-wise. You know, you've got Curry, I mean, as just sometimes you just want to slap him, but I mean, you got to give the guy credit. I mean, you got him, and you got the other Splash brother, Klay Thompson. They're all stars. You got Kevin Durant, DeMarcus Cousins, Draymond Green. I mean, these are pretty, impressive guys if you just look at their resumes. But except for Klay Thompson, all of the other guys, they're basically out of control. I mean, nobody would ever confuse them as being people that are warm and cuddly, right? And that's what makes this just so disgusting. And besides all that, I mean, a lot of people are against Kevin Durant the most because they're upset that he took his talents to steal a LeBron James line when he went from Cleveland to Miami, the Miami Heat. He took his talents, Kevin Durant, from the Oklahoma City Thunder to form a super team at Golden State. You know the rest of that story. They ended up winning with Kevin Durant in the 2 previous years, 2 world championships with him. He was named NBA Finals MVP both of those years. So, it's like he's considered the Antichrist for doing that. I personally don't have a problem with that. I have no problem with him going to Golden State, and I have no problem with Golden State seeking him out because your objective as a professional team or any team is to get better, get as good as you can get. But I do have a problem with everything else. Okay, that being said, I want to switch gears here, okay? And I want us to try to do something here with this NBA Finals approaching here on Thursday. Best of 7. And again, Golden State's going to win it. They're going to sweep them or they're winning in 5. They might get bored in one game. And Toronto, they might win that one. They might win. But anyway, I think we need to hold our noses here for just a second and go over reasons why we should embrace Golden State. And there are reasons, and there are 3 huge reasons to embrace this team, all right? And one, which is not to be understated, is that they are a very resilient team. They overcome stuff. I mean, just look at it. I mean, they got this super lineup, okay, but Kevin Durant has been out for a long stretch here with a bad calf. DeMarcus Cousins has barely played since they got him as a free agent during the offseason. And DeMarcus Cousins was coming off an Achilles tendon injury, and he's been, as of late, nursing a bad quad. Yet they're still winning and they're still dominating. I mean, they just swept their way into the playoffs here, into the finals, rather, the Golden State Warriors, over the Portland Trailblazers without those 2 guys. Andre Iguodala, who is their super 6 man, he was even out for a stretch. I mean, they're very resilient. And if you really want to know how resilient they are against a very good Portland team, they overcame the Golden State Warriors 3 straight deficits of at least 15 points. Think about that. That is saying an awful lot. So they're resilient. And the other thing is, as I grit my teeth saying this, you got to admit that the Golden State Warriors, they are entertaining. I mean, as just insufferable as Steph Curry is, you know, he just hits some of the most incredible three-point shots you have ever seen from distances from the far side of the moon stretching over across to Jupiter to the other dimension of time, the Twilight Zone. He's pretty spectacular. And his partner in crime, the other Splash brother, is the same way in Klay Thompson. So you got to give him credit for that. You got to say that they're also entertaining because Draymond Green and Andre Iguodala, they have made defense fun. I mean, very entertaining. They are just tremendous defenders. They give you a little offense too, but it's mainly their defense that just has you just going, doing the old Ricky Ricardo. Remember I Love Lucy? Aye, aye, aye. Okay. And then you got Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, I mean, the guy just whines all the time. He's moody. I mean, he's snippy. I mean, he's just, he's all that kind of stuff. But you know what else he is? He is the most unique player who's able to do more unique things than anybody in the NBA not named LeBron James. Okay? You got to give him credit for that. So it's an entertaining team. I mean, you know, no doubt about it. They whine a lot, but they're entertaining. And the third thing, and the third and final thing, and this is not to be something that anybody should take lightly, they are already a historic team. And they're about to become even more so with this three-peat, all right? I mean, the last NBA team to three-peat were those Lakers of Shaq and Kobe. We're back to Shaq again. Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, LA Lakers, 2000 to 2002. And as a matter of fact, you know, we started with Shaq. Let's continue with Shaq here. This is what Shaq had to say back in 2002 with that three-peat for his Lakers.
A three-peat and a sweep for the world champion Los Angeles Lakers.
Shaquille O'Neal, no question, the most valuable player of this series, becoming the third player to win the NBA Finals MVP award 3 times, only the second player to win it 3 consecutive times, the other, Michael Jordan.
What did I say last year at the parade? I'm going to give you a few seconds to go back and look. I got up here last year and said we was going to do it again. I'm saying it again. We're going to three-peat. Can you dig it?
Yes, I can dig it. That's one of the greatest lines of all time. Shaq, can you dig it? Well, Michael could dig it. Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan, not only did he three-peat with the Bulls, Michael did it twice. They're the only team to do that twice. Then again, Bill Russell's Celtics were the only NBA team ever to win an NBA championship 8 straight times. And they did it through 1966, all right? And then, of course, the first team ever to three-peat, George Mikan's Minneapolis Lakers, 1952 to 1954. So, yeah, so there's that. And that's not, anything to dismiss. Yeah, they're going to be in that category, the Golden State Warriors. And let's face it. When it comes to dynasties in the history of sports, all dynasties basically are unlikable. I mean, just go historically. I mean, who could stand the New York Yankees unless you were from the Bronx or just were into pinstripes? I'm talking about all comings of the Yankees, the Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig Yankees, the Mickey Mantle, Yogi Berra reincarnation of the dynasty, and then you had the Reggie Jackson crew in the late 70s, and And even, well, except for Derek Jeter, who could dislike Derek Jeter. But, I mean, the rest of those Yankees, as of late, Bernie Williams and all that crowd. And I was just thinking about Mariano Rivera. He was a likable guy, but still, they were the Yankees, okay? The Dallas Cowboys. Who can stand the Dallas Cowboys? Okay? Nobody likes it. The Green Bay Packers of the 60s, that was an interesting thing because Vince Lombardi, he was a tough guy, but he was a respected guy. So you had a little bit of respect going on there with them. But you just look at the dynasties as of late. Yeah, you can almost see the legendary Joan Rivers. Remember, she would stick her finger in her mouth like she was about to regurgitate. Well, that's what you think of with some of these teams as of late that have been very, very dominant. I mean, the New England Patriots come to mind. Very, very, very similar to what's going on with the Golden State Warriors. I mean, who can like Tom Brady? I mean, Tom Brady is Steph Curry, and that's not necessarily a compliment. Duke basketball. I mean, who in his right mind? Duke basketball is just icky. Coach K, overrated. Yeah, and another situation where you got a coach in this particular case. Coach K complains about officials more than anybody in private, underneath his breath during games. Okay, then people aren't particularly fond of Alabama. When they lost to Clemson for the national championship last year, I bet you the cheering you heard was could start an earthquake in certain parts of this country. People were so happy. Okay. But here's the thing. Not that any of these guys care, any of these teams. They don't really care. And certainly not Golden State, certainly not Steph Curry, certainly not Draymond Green, definitely not Kevin Durant, who's watching from the side these days. But anyway, they don't care, Golden State, as they just keep winning and keep clowning people. We'll see you next week for more Terrence's take on something, and we'll see what happens.